We do have a real exhaust in there. Maybe there's a spec sheet in here. Sound. Oh yes, usually I'm always worried about my driving license and the rosers. It's quite big. What's up everyone? Welcome to this POV review by AutoTopNL. My name is Max and today we are driving this Mercedes-Benz E200. And well, why, you might ask? Well, sometimes we like to drive the entry-level cars because one, it keeps us with both feet on the ground. Two, it sort of reminds us how crazy and special the top models are and the crazy cars we drive. So it's sort of also to make sure that an E63S doesn't get normal, basically. And three, well, of course, this car is a lot more affordable than an E63, and there are a lot more of you who are probably able to afford one of these instead of an E63, or at least closer to it. So sometimes we do this and people ask us about it sometimes as well. So here it is, E200. Spec, well, annoyingly Mercedes didn't supply a spec sheet this time. So I don't really know the specs of this car. I know that it has 17-inch wheels, which look even smaller, to be honest, with a very large tire on there, 55, so a very high tire. That of course benefits the comfort. And we'll take a look at the engine to see if the color is here somewhere. Sometimes it is. It is not. No, don't think so. All right, E200. So this is a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine with 184 horsepower and 300 Newton meters. As I said, it's the entry-level model, so it's the base model, the cheapest one. And we've even got a sticker there, so Mercedes really doesn't care how it looks. At the rear, we do have a real exhaust in there, as opposed to the diesels, which have a fake one. Maybe do some practical stuff in this review as well. Very large boot, I have to say. It's quite big. And well, while we're at it, let's put this seat forward a bit, like a normal person would sit. And then sit in the back. Oh, consumer advice by AutoTopNL. Maybe there's a spec sheet in here. No. So, there's a little trick that the old car journalists use. If you want to show the legroom in a car, you just sit in it and then do like this. I always laugh when I see that. Okay, so the seats, there are actually some curves in here to make sure that you can fit your legs in here, which is necessary, as you can see. Otherwise I wouldn't have fit like this. The spec inside is all black with some sort of aluminium look trim. We've got half leather, half cloth seats with sort of a silver gray stitching to go with that, and some chrome on the outside. As I said, I don't know the color, but it is gray, so let's call it Mercedes gray. And at the front we've got the shiny piano black trim, and we've got the standard audio system. So it's basically just a regular E-Class, which we don't really drive that often, so it's actually kind of nice to drive a car like this. I'm not joking, I really mean it. It's kind of cool to see what a normal E-Class looks like, you know, one that is actually on the road a lot instead of all the rare ones we drive, or you know, a 350D which has every option on it. And this car even has the standard springs, which I don't think we've ever driven an E-Class without the air suspension. Because if we go to Sport, you can see that the engine, steering and ESP changes, but not the suspension. So that means I think that it has the standard suspension. So we're going to drive it towards the Autobahn and then drive it on the Autobahn for a bit. It's not going to be a very long review because we've made a lot of E-Class reviews already. So if you want to see one, go check out this one. I'll link any of them up here. Check out this one for more info on the E-Class. And well, I'm just going to focus on the base one today. Also, subscribe if you haven't yet, so you don't miss any videos. Turn on that bell for notifications. And if you like, check out our watch brand. It's called Ignition. This is our merchandise, so we do this instead of t-shirts and hats and stuff. Limited to 50 pieces. Go check it out. I think it's really cool. Alrighty. Well, what else? We've got the standard steering wheel. If you have seen some of our E-Class videos, we've pretty much always had the new one with the aluminium on here, which is very shiny. This is a bit more sober, but I really like it. It's quite soft, it's squishy. Yeah, it's not a bad steering wheel, to be honest. What else? You can actually also get this car with the standard dials, so you get the classic analog speedometer and tachometer. This is an option to get the dual screen 12.3 inch. So that's pretty much, you know, one of the few luxuries this car has. It also doesn't have a panoramic roof, and it has an automatic gearbox, 9-speed automatic, which is standard on this car. You can get a manual. Driving it, well, it is very comfortable actually, but it's not floaty. I think that, you know, if you drive a sound, oh yes, just kidding. I think if you drive an E-Class with air suspension, air body control, in comfort mode, it's actually, you know, it's super comfortable, but if you drive it on a road like this, it's very floaty. And I think this is a really nice compromise, because it is very comfortable, but it's not too floaty. Other than that, I mean, the suspension is really good. It soaks up all the bumps. I mean, it's got those huge 55 tires, so that also helps. And well, let's talk about the engine, because we are coming up to the Autobahn. I'll get a digital speedometer there for you guys, because that is the real test. I mean, this is sort of the same in every E-Class, so it's the same in a 400 or whatever, in a 400D. But the engine, yeah, it's got, as I said, 184 horsepower, 300 Newton meters, does 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 7.7 seconds, top speed of 240 kilometers an hour. And the engine is totally fine until you start asking a bit more of it. And I realize that many of these owners are not going to do that, but I'm going to do it anyway. So flooring it, let's put it in Sport Plus. There it is. So this is when you sort of really notice that it's the base version, because it's not quick. It's quite slow. You can actually feel that the engine struggles with the weight, and it weighs around 1,540 kilograms. So imagine if you have 3 more people with luggage in here, it's really going to struggle. But now it sort of settles down. Yeah, it's really comfortable, to be honest. Once you get it up to speed, it is fine. But the initial pickup, you know, the engine makes a lot of noise. It really has to work, so that's not that comfortable. But once you're at higher speed like this to 30, it's actually fine. And that goes for every speed. So if you're cruising, it's totally fine. But this is full throttle. I mean, barely accelerating. So if you don't mind that, it takes a while to get there, and if you like the fact that once you get there it's actually really comfortable, then this is a car for you. But you can also go even further and get the, I don't know exactly what it's called, it's sort of a package, the silent comfort package, something like that. And that means that you get a special coating on the windshield, you get a coating on the side windows, and I think you get a bit more insulation, so then it becomes even more quiet. But this is already really nice. And it's sort of nice as well that you don't really have to worry about your driving license or losing it, because if you are on a regular B road, I mean, you have to try quite hard to exceed the speed limit in a short amount of time or in a short distance. So that's nice as well. I mean, usually I'm always worried about my driving license and the Rosers just around the corner. But yeah, it's quite a relaxing experience to drive one of these for a change. I'm not being ironic, it's actually fun. I'm trying to discover any more options that this car has that I haven't noticed. It also has the ambient lighting, of course, which is famous in the E-Class and the S-Class. Yeah, it's seriously relaxing, this car, and I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting to be very frustrated most of the time, but no, it's nice. It's a nice car. I like it. So it's about that time, I think. I'm going to end it here. Please let us know what you think. I mean, I know that it's not what you're used to, it's not what we are used to, but we did it anyway. So we're curious to see what you think about this car and about these videos. You can subscribe by clicking the big button right here. You can also check out this POV review, or you can check out this POV reviews playlist. We've made a lot of these, so if you like it, check out some more. And I will see you at the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.